Hey guys, how's everyone doing? In this video I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review and a little bit of a run through of Overdrive pedals. These are really nifty pedals for a lot of things, but what I'll be concentrating on is the thing I actually know about, and is using them for metal tones. And this is a cheap Chinese Joyo vintage Overdrive. It is a copy of a Tube Screamer style Overdrive, which is a pretty classic, kind of like the Maxons as well. And this is actually a really good pedal. When this Joyo brand came up with all these pedals, and they came up with a whole bunch of other ones as well. I'll just pull one out. Probably should have done this earlier. But they came out with a whole bunch of pedals, and they're about 40 Australian each, shipped, and they're just copies of the brand. So this is an MXR copy, and this is like a Maxon Tube Screamer Ibanez type copy. I'm not sure. It's got the classic chip set in there, a copy of such. And originally when I got these pedals, I'm a university student, so spending lots of money on these pedals wasn't really an option for me. Because if you look at, say, like a Boss pedal, usually you're looking at $100 plus, probably $150 for a pedal. A proper Ibanez from the shop, from your local music shop, is going to be over $200. Some pedals are very, very expensive, and I was looking at building my first pedal board, and I was looking at the prices of all these pedals and going, to get everything that I want, I'm going to have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So what I did is I took a gamble on these Joyo pedals, and I bought a whole set of them. And because I bought them bulk from a website that I'll pop a link just here, they worked out to be about $32 each, Australian shipped, which is pretty bloody awesome. And I've had these for a couple of years now, and I was expecting them not to last that long. But it's metal construction, that's not plastic. The switch is solid. I stomp on this all the time. The jacks haven't worn, they don't crackle or anything like that. They work great. These are nice and smooth. They don't crackle when you turn them, when they get the amps on. The power works fine. I mean, the battery port isn't very good. You can see inside where all the chips are, and this little cover thing's not great. And originally had like a rubber base, but Velcro didn't stick to it, so I ripped that bit off. And another thing about these cheap pedals is you don't mind having to modify them to get them on the board. So I ripped off the rubber and put down the Velcro, and then that lives on the board. So these are actually really sturdy pedals, and I've got a whole host of them. I've got two EQs, I've got this Overdrive, I've got a digital delay and an analog delay, okay? So I plan on doing reviews and run-throughs of each of these pedals. This one's going to be a bit longer because I'm doing this speech about these pedals. And another thing about getting cheap pedals like this is that it allowed me to build my entire pedal board for a fraction of the cost. And I know that if I got like a Maxon 808, which is very popular with metal people, and one of the best Overdrive pedals there is, I actually know what to look for in the tones that I want. So instead of going to a shop and throwing down $200 on a pedal that I don't actually know how to use that well, using these Joyo pedals for a couple of years, I now know what sort of sounds I want to get from my pedals. Which means that one day when I go to upgrade this and I'm demoing a whole bunch of pedals, I'll know what I'm trying to achieve, and I'll be able to distinguish the tonal differences a little bit better, which is a good thing. Okay, but I haven't had any problems with this. It's fantastic. The EQ pedals are great. Okay, so for metal guys, these two will change your tone dramatically, and they're particularly the EQ is really good for dialing in your amp. You've only got the treble, the the mid, and then the bass, and maybe some presence, depending on what amp you have. But these things bring it to a next level, and runs on 9 volt. So I wouldn't recommend batteries. Buy a power supply. Get a power supply that can run lots of pedals, like a one spot, like I have, and power a whole bunch of these pedals. Don't buy batteries. You're filling up landfill with dirty, disgusting batteries, and they're also really expensive. So just buy a one spot, okay? And yeah, these pedals are really good. So I'll go through a demo of this one now, and we'll see what it sounds like, and I'll show you what. This is the amp that I'm using. It's a Hughes & Kettner Tubemeister 18 watt head. As you can see my settings there, I've got the treble and the bass boosted a little bit on the dirty channel. Oh well, both channels actually. And then the mids are brought down a little bit. It's not scooped, but there is a little bit of the frequencies taken out there. And the gain is at 12 o'clock, and then the volume is a little around about 10 o'clock. This is the guitar that I'll be using. I'll be using a ESP LTD Snakebite James Hetfield signature guitar with the NG headset installed. Vintage Overdrive, which is what we're looking at today. A Boss noise suppressor, and then a Korg pitch black tuner, which is very important. Always have a tuner. Now we've got the volume about 10 o'clock on the dirty channel with the gain at 12 o'clock, and it's on the 1 watt setting, so it's bedroom levels in here at the moment. I wish I could pump it up to at least 5 to get some better tones out of it, but we'll live. We're only demonstrating what this does to my tone, what I use it for. Okay, so here we go. My current settings are, which is pretty common for using an overdrive, as a boost pedal to hit the front end of the amp. So my signal chain goes from my guitar into the Korg, then the noise suppressor, then into the OD, the overdrive, and then that goes off into the amp, okay? And then chords come into this for the effects loop. So what you do is you take back the gain all the way off, or almost all the way off, and then pump the volume, okay? And then tone to suit. I like the highs boosted a little bit there, so I put it on that side. That side you get a little bit still deeper, warmer, and this side's a little bit brighter. Okay, so show you how it works. Okay, so right now we're in the dirty channel. So I'm just going to switch that off, and I've got the noise suppressor on to stop the squeal. So not really in high gain territory there at the moment. And the gain is only on 12 o'clock on there, but the reason why I do that is because it starts getting a bit fizzy once you turn it up. So I keep it at 12 o'clock so there's no fizz, and then I hit it with this, and then see the difference. So excuse the random crappy riffs. Anyway, so as you can see, it just pushes the amp a little bit harder and hits it a little bit harder. It's kind of like using higher output pickups. And it's really good for taking something that's on sort of like crunch territory with like a rhythm sound, and then you can use it to boost you up into high gain for like a solo or something, or you can use it to tighten your lower tuning so it's not as flubby. also go onto the clean channel, and that'll shut up the amp a bit. Sorry, the delay's getting in the way a bit there. I'll turn off the effects. Okay, and that's pretty much what the Joyo does. So I usually have it off when I'm on the clean channel. I like sparkling cleans, but of course you can use it to bring it into a give it some breakup and push it a little bit harder, which is good if you're going for like a bluesy type thing. But this is what I mainly use it for. Okay, so now we're in my Gibson Explorer. Okay, same settings, and this is in E flat. And see how I'm not adding drive there. What I'll do is I'll switch these, take down the volume, see how it messes with the tone? Drive all the way off, volume all the way up. Obviously I'm not the best player in the world, and I just wanted to demonstrate what I use it for. I just use it to hit the front end of the amp a little bit harder, and I dial back the gain on the Tube Meister to get rid of the fizz, hit it with that, and then that takes it up into the high gain territory. So it's really good for that. It's fantastic if you've got you've got an amp that's not really a high gain amp, and although there's plenty of gain on tap, this just takes it to the next level and takes it to that sort of, you know, not PV6505 or like a Randall Thrasher type level of gain, but it pushes it enough that you can play metal convincingly. And this amp, I bet in the shops people were thinking, no, this amp cannot do metal, can't do high gain, but all you need to do is throw one of these bad boys in the front of it and you're golden. Okay, now I have got a tube swap in there, so if you've got a Tube Meister yourself and wondering how to get the sound that I'm getting, do a tube swap, works wonders on the amp. And then one of these, and I also had an EQ in the effects loop. Okay, so that's dictating the tone quite a lot, and what sounds good to my ears might not sound good to your ears, but I recommend picking up Overdrive pedal, and I do recommend the Joyo Overdrive. It is a great entry-level pedal, and I recommend it over all the cheap brands, and I recommend it over all the Boss offerings as well. I don't really have much love for the Boss pedals. I do have some of them, but Boss is not the be-all and end-all. So I recommend buying a cheap pedal like this and then finding out what you want to get out of your tone and your sound. So highly recommend the Joyo Vintage Overdrive pedal. If it broke, I would probably upgrade. I'd probably upgrade to a Maxon, probably an OD 808, because that's pretty much the go-to pedal and it's one of the best you can get. So that's what I do, and that's what these Joyo pedals are to me, is that they're a way for me to discover, get my ears tuned to what sort of tone that I like, and then upgrade eventually. So I've got a fully functioning board that costs not much money, and then I'll just upgrade the pieces as I go along, okay? Rather than buying one $150, $200 pedal at a time and taking years to build it up, I could buy all these pedals, and they're all about 35 bucks each, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Joyo pedals there. So you do the math. How many Boss or MXR pedals can you buy for the price of 5 Joyo pedals? Okay, so that's something to consider. But I do plan on upgrading, so it's not like I'll have these forever. It's just a stepping stone and something I use to build a fully functional.